Alright, after a long time of just not uploading, I am back. Not gonna waste too much time in the intro though, I'm just gonna jump right into what I want to do today. It's gonna be a ZSS Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Matchup Chart. Um, so ZSS is in a weird place in the meta right now. I don't think she's that good. I don't think she's top 15 anymore. She's probably, I don't know if she's top 20 anymore. But ZSS struggles with a lot of matchups in this game, and we're gonna go through the characters and open the matchups. And yeah, let's get into it. The reason why I'm not smashed here right now is because their blood play is down. So we're just going to the team maker later now. So ignore these ads. Sorry about that. Anyway, getting right into it. Bayonetta even matchup. So Bayonetta has been a strong my opinion even matchup for a while among the ZSS players. Reason being is that Bayonetta does a lot more damage than ZSS does, and Bayonetta is also really good at air-to-airing ZSS's defensive options like Zair and Nair and stuff. And also, Bayonetta has pretty decent time on stage and neutral because of just her overall movement and her ability to cover more space than ZSS can, with her hitboxes. I mean, the one saving grace from this matchup though for ZSS is that because Bayonetta struggles to kill, it's gonna be really hard for her to land a lethal hit on ZSS. So it does give time for ZSS to catch up in terms of the damage and probably get the kill first, or maybe get the kill first. But still, it's an even matchup. They contend pretty much evenly in neutral. Bowser Jr. I'm gonna think about it. It's either 60-40 or 55-45. I'm gonna go 60-40 because with just ZSS's overall movement and her ability to just win in neutral, it's pretty easy for her to just hit Bowser Jr. and Bowser Jr. not to hit her. And the projectiles that Bowser Jr. has access to doesn't really help him out too much in this matchup. And ZSS can just kind of advantage state Bowser Jr. for a while. No, her advantage state isn't that good. Bowser, 55-45. True, ZSS does have decent advantage state and stuff against Bowser Jr. Against Bowser, but Bowser has the way bigger hitboxes. He has enough speed to contend with it to keep up with ZSS. And his hitboxes are just way better. And also, up B out of shield can be actually kind of problematic in this matchup because one stale Nair on shield means that Bowser can up B it because of Tough Guy. And Tough Guy just blocking out jab is pretty annoying too. So things like Nair jab doesn't really work against Bowser. And just the fact that this character weighs so much more than ZSS does, I want to say it's almost 80 units more than ZSS, because ZSS has a base weight of 81, which is almost, I think it's like 9 for 8 lowest in the game. Bowser has, I think, 161, so yeah, just 80 units heavier than ZSS, which is kind of ridiculous. No character should be that heavy. The Bowser just takes forever to die, and it's like a thing that ZSS, yeah, she has to win like 20 interactions, but Bowser only has to win like 3. So, anyway, moving on, Falcon. It's either 60-40 or 55-45. Again, ZSS just kind of wins in neutral, but once Falcon gets the hit, because Falcon has the speed to catch up with ZSS, he can get the hit and just deal his damage, because all his damage comes from true combos. He can sometimes just kill. And so it's like one of those things, yeah, Falcon loses neutral, and he's going to lose neutral a lot, but once he gets the hit, he's dealing the damage and maybe getting the kill. I will say that this is one of the easier characters for ZSS to edgeguard in this game, because it's super linear, and ZSS can go out and whack it. But yeah. Anyway, moving on, we got Chrom, that's a 40-60. Chrom just wins neutral every time, does so much more damage, has the better hitboxes, has the speed to keep up with ZSS. ZSS's damage in this matchup just comes from pod shots, and whenever Chrom gets a pod shot, he just does so much damage. And he's gonna kill super early because ZSS is super light. It's a rough. Cloud, it's either even or it's 45-55. I'm gonna go 45-55. One thing you'll kind of see in this show is characters that do really good against ZSS or swordsmen, or either can keep up with ZSS really well or have better hitboxes than ZSS, so they just outranger. And that's why Mobile Swordsman, that archetype in particular, does so well for ZSS. And that's what Cloud is. Cloud is a Mobile Swordsman. And yeah, he just has the hitboxes that contest with ZSS. His damage output isn't that insane, and his up out of shield isn't that good in this matchup. matchup. He does slightly more damage, and he has a big sword, so it's hard for ZSS to hit him sometimes. ZSS will occasionally have Edgeguard Cloud, but it's not super often as that's gonna happen. And then once the Cloud gets limit and ZSS like opens herself up once, she's just gonna die. Corrin, that's even on 55-45. Corrin's a bit slow though, so I'm putting it at 55-45. Corrin does have sword, and Corrin does have okay combos, but her advantage state doesn't really work that well against ZSS because of flip jump. But once again, like just having sword, it does really well because sword is outrageous there. And there aren't going to be many opportunities where Corrin's going to be opening herself up on the ground for ZSS to get her combo starters. But still, ZSS will be able to just win neutral more often than not and kill around the same time Corrin will. Just more effective. We're gonna knock with some skip these two, and that guy, Diddy Kong, another 40-60. Diddy's just too short. And then has banana, and then like if Diddy just holds banana and shields, what does ZSS do? Like if I run up and grab you, I'll get 11%. But what if you see me like trying to grab you and you throw banana at me? Or what if you like jump over my grab and then you throw banana at me? Yeah. Like not having a normal grab matters in a lot of matchups for the ZSS because she had a normal grab, but she'd have the ability to tomahawk people because her shield pressure is pretty solid. Because she does have -2 up air, -4 nair when you space it. When you space it, when you space it all the way, when you space it at max distance, and -5 when you have to do close nair, and you have -2 back air. So she has a lot of ability for shield pressure, and because of jab, she can get out. She makes pretty much every shield pressure a 50-50, unless someone removes their stale, and a lot of characters cannot be just straight up close nair on a shield. Diddy Kong is one of those characters because his up smash is frame 5, so if I do close nair, he can actually up smash it out of shield. But if I do far nair, he can just throw banana. or even if I can approach you from a diagonal approach, you can just jump Z drop fair. Like it's really hard, and ZSS will occasionally edgeguard Diddy Kong, but it's to no avail. And Diddy also just out damages ZSS really hard because once Diddy Kong gets his hit, which is not that hard for him to do, especially when ZSS has pretty committal options, he'll just do a ton of damage. Donkey Kong, that's a 6-4. Donkey Kong's speed does help out a little bit in this matchup. If like, Donkey Kong is slow, he would have no chance, but actually he does have some speed, helps him out, so he can actually like keep up with ZSS a little bit. But no, like ZSS gets out of like a lot of Donkey Kong stuff because of flip jump and her overall smaller hitbox. And then she can also just kind of advantage state him. It's not the best time for Donkey Kong. Me Gunner, all variations, 60-40. Same deal for me Sword Fighter. They're just slower projectile characters, and ZSS does really well against slower projectile characters. Me Brawler is weird because he's kind of fast and he does a lot of damage, but he doesn't do enough damage. Like he does less damage than Falcon, but he's kind of smaller. Doc is that's another 6-4. Like once Doc eventually gets his hands on ZSS, he's gonna do the damage and get the kill, but it's really hard for him to do that because he's just so slow. Falco, this is only a slight advantage for ZSS. Again, having the mobility here against Falco really helps. But Falco does dummy damage and has easy kill confirms, and it's really hard for Falco to like, catch ZSS jumping because of up tilt. It's also once again, if ZSS whiffs a grab or opens herself up once, she's either gonna take a ton of damage or she's gonna die. Duck Hunt, 60-40. Like he's almost fast enough for it to be a 55-45. But no, he's just too slow. He just jumps over jumps over gunman, jumps over play pinman. Again, whiff punish shows with nair or flip jump. And just bury him on the ground. And this is one of the few matchups that ZSS can actually like really edge guard well against the character because she can just drop below Duck Hunt and just up E him every time. Fox, that's a slight loser right there. Fox just has all the speed to keep up ZSS, and he outdamages her. And it's not super easy for ZSS to edge guard Fox either. Ganondorf, boop. I don't think I have to explain that one. Speed just overwhelms Ganondorf, he just kind of dies off stage every time. Greninja, 45-55. Greninja is just slightly too short. like the fact that Greninja is so short makes the matchup a lot harder than it should be. Because if he was like I don't know, like cloud height, this match would be down here. But the fact that he's so short makes it so it's hard to hit him. So like, it's harder to space in there. It's harder to space there. And he does have good combos too, and he does have really good like kill confirms as well. So that also doesn't help. Ike, it's either even or it's losing. If Ike was cloud speed, it would definitely be like here or here. But he's just slightly on the slow on that side where it's gonna be an even matchup. I think this is the slowest character in the game that actually has an even matchup against ZSS. But that's only because his sword is so big and his dash output is so good that he can just kind of make up for it. Ice Climbers, I don't know. I'm gonna go here because I really don't know what Ice Climbers can do against ZSS mobility, and once ZSS gets rid of one of them, Ice Climbers just kind of lose. Incineroar there, Incineroar is way too slow. Like, if he had any kind of speed, he'd be so good, but he just doesn't. Inkling 40-55. Too small, out damages ZSS, out kills there, you know, same story. Isabelle, I think this one's also 65-35. I just, like, Isabelle is, like, lighter than Villager, and doesn't have Wood Rocket. She has one less projectile, and she's slow. Huff, 55-45, only because she's small. Other than that, ZSS can just kind of hit her. Joker, 40-60. He flattens when he dashes, which is super annoying for spacing against him, especially with there. And then, of course, he outdamages ZSS with his combos, and then he has better kill confirms than ZSS. And even when ZSS does get damage, he gets Arsene, and then the game becomes not fair. Ken, 55-45. I think ZSS does bad as well against all the fighting game characters, just because she wins neutral almost every time. But once Ken does get the hit, or any of these characters get the hit, they pretty much even the game out. King de de. Yep, only because it's slightly annoying for ZSS to deal Gordos, but other than that, it's pretty easy for King K. Rool. If ZSS had a standard grab, it would definitely be a 65-35 because she could just jump over Crown grab every time, but she can't do that. So she just has to kind of like deal Crown, which a lot of characters just don't have to do. Like Duck Hunt, for example, Duck Hunt can just jump over Crown and grab King K. Rool, and then boom, he has Crown. ZSS can't do that. But still 65-35. Kirby, it's slightly easier than Jigglypuff, but it's annoying for similar reasons, but it's still a winning matchup. Link, 55-45. He is slow, and he has a projectile character, which ZSS does typically well against, but he has Sword. Lucario, 60-40. Lucario's advantage rate isn't that great against ZSS, but because ZSS just does no damage and can struggle to kill sometimes, Lucario will sometimes live against ZSS, and that will even out the game. Little Mac, 60-40. The fact that ZSS just isn't the best damage guarding character helps Little Mac, but it's not enough. Lucas, 60-40. It is kind of annoying for ZSS to get on the PK Fires, but Lucas's hitboxes aren't big enough to contend with ZSS. So yeah. Lucina, that's about as even matchup you can get. She has Sword, which she's kind of fast. ZSS is faster, but Lucina doesn't do crazy damage. Or has crazy kill confirms, so. Luigi, 60-40. He's like slower than the Shotos. So, yeah. Mario, even. The fact that he has speed really helps, and his combos are stupid, and his auto shield is pretty good against CSS, because if I just nair Mario, he just up-B me every time. Mario 60-40. I just don't know how Marth is supposed to space tippers against CSS, because CSS is way too mobile for Marth to even like consider spacing against her. So like to do the not consider spacing, but like to do the precise tippers. I mean, Mega Man 55-45, just a bit too heavy for her to have just a huge advantage against him. And his projectiles are pretty annoying because Mega Man can do like a classic thing where he just jabs and then jumps nairs, and that could just pretty much all of his approaches. And also Leaf Shield can be kind of annoying. Luckily, Mega Man doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, so he doesn't have like super cutback fighting in DSS, but still. Unlight, a bit too short for it to be a big win for DSS. So yeah. Game & Watch, that's even now. So I'm gonna explain why Game & Watch is even. So because of the Nair nerf, Nair got nerfed from -2 to -4 on far Nair and -5 on close Nair. And you know what? If it's frame 3, Game & Watch up-B. And this is why Game & Watch is broken, because he can just up-B every time. And if so I'm forced to grab him, and if I whip a grab, I die at 60. Or I take 60% before 60. So there you go. But there and Side B do exist, so yeah. For me. U2, 60-40. Too light. It is fast enough, but his hitboxes aren't good enough. And Shadow Ball isn't good enough either for his matchup. Ness, he's annoying. He's super annoying. But the auto shield option should really help out Ness. But yeah, he's a bit too stubby. But the auto shield options that ZSS has actually access to really help him. Olimar, 40. Yeah, that's worse than 45-55. It's 40-60. Olimar's too short. He outdamages ZSS. He outkills her. And the most annoying part of this matchup is that a Pikmin is attached to ZSS. Her Zair just won't work. It's just like when you see it there. Pac-Man, that's an even matchup because Pac-Man has the same effect as Diddy Kong, where he can just hold shield with Bell. I don't know what the ZSS is supposed to do about it besides grab Pac-Man, deal 11%, and then if he sees grab coming, I die. And then Pac-Man outdamages ZSS. However, because he is a bit slower, and his boxes aren't that good, ZSS can just advance state him for a while and just kind of win neutral. But still, it's a even matchup. Palu, it's a losing matchup. Palu has the same amount of speed, has almost the same amount of speed as ZSS has, and has better hitboxes, and does more damage. Your killing isn't as potent as some of these characters up here, but still it's hard for ZSS. Peach, that's 55-45. So a lot of characters that just are kind of slow, but then do dummy damage when they get to hit. Do about slow against ZSS, like Ken and Falco and Falcon and Peach. Peach does have float, which gives her a bit more mobility, but she's a bit too stubby, and ZSS just gonna hit her hit, just kind of keep her out. But once she does get to hit, it's an even game. Pichu, 45-55. Small, just goes under Zair, outdamages ZSS, outkills her. The fact that Pichu's so light almost makes the matchup even, because I can up B them at like 660 and they'll die on ledge. But still. Pikachu, 40-60. Too light, does too much damage. Not too light, too small, does too much damage. Same story. Just isn't as light as Pichu and doesn't hurt himself. Playing 60-40. Yeah. Just the fact that Patui is kind of annoying to deal with puts him there, but still. Pit 60-40 doesn't have enough anything to keep up with ZSS. Pokemon Trainer. It does a 45-55 or 40-60. I'm gonna go 40-60. Just Squirtle, I don't know how ZSS fights with Squirtle besides just kind of hoping that the Squirtle player just doesn't hit her. like ZSS has to use down tilt a lot to match up against Squirtle, and then side B and Pili Grab, which aren't good options, and they're really just niche for only using it against short characters. And an Ivy Sword, ZSS kind of beats Ivy Sword, but his zoning's pretty actually good in the matchup because he can just bag air. And Zard, ZSS again has a slight win on Zard, I'd say, but Zard's just kind of dumb and has better properties in the matchup against ZSS than Bowser does. Richter 60-40, Ridley 65-35. Richter is a pretty slow slow projectile character, but he will sometimes just get a kill at like 80 because I will whiff something. Ridley just too big and too not good. Yeah, I don't think Ridley's good. Robin 60-40. Same story as Richter pretty much. Rob 55-45. He is kind of big, so I just advanced him for a while. But Rob is dumb and has better and is really good and pretty decent at air to air in ZSS and has down tilt. So yeah. Rosa. I have not played the Rosa matchup that often. I imagine it's like this, because ZSS kind of just wins neutral, and then gets her off stage, and then because her hitbox doesn't have it, her recovery doesn't have hitbox, she just kind of upbeat the ledge, and she dies. And Luma is pretty easy for ZSS to deal with. Roy, another 40-60 here. It's pretty much just Chrom, it's pretty much just slightly worse than Chrom because it's slightly easier to edgeguard Chrom for ZSS than it is for edgeguard Roy. Ryu, same story as Ken. go there. Samus, you go to 55-45. Because she is kind of mobile, and she does a bit better, and she's just better than all these owners down here pretty much, because Charlie Shot's just way better, and she has better air to air because of forward air. And there. Sheik, that's a slight losing matchup. Sheik just keeps up with ZSS because of her speed, and she has better combos and better kill confirms. Shulk, 40-60. I literally can't kill him with anything besides back air. Every time I do try and kill him with a different move, he'll just shield art it. The kill confirms don't work on Shulk. And Shulk has big sword, so. Snake, slight win. Snake does have the frame data to keep up with ZSS. And just like has decent mobility, but ZSS has grab and Zair, which kind of hurt against Snake. But yeah. Sonic, it's even. Sonic has the speed. Like how the match is gonna go is that they're barely ever gonna hit each other, and once they do hit each other, they just run away. And they have similar enough ability to kind of just hit each other when they need to. Toon Link has the speed, has decent kill confirms. Just slightly just not. It's kind of stubbier than Link, so yeah. Villager 60-40. The fact that he has Lloyd Rocket helps him a little bit, but he just kind of gets out like by ZSS. Wario 55-45. ZSS, it is kind of rough because Wario will almost assuredly land a waft against ZSS because ZSS has some exploitable things about her, like whiffing a grab or being really obvious in her approach game. But ZSS for the most part will keep Wario out. Wolf, another 40-60 here. Wolf has laser and has better frame data and has better combos and better kills. So there. Wii Fit 60-40, just slightly too slow. And doesn't have really counter enough boxes. Yoshi 55-45. He has the mobility to keep up, but his hitboxes aren't that good. Young Link 55-45. He has the speed, but his hitboxes aren't that good. His projectiles aren't good enough. Zelda 65-35. I don't know what Zelda's supposed to do in this matchup against ZSS. It's just way too hard for her. Hero 55-45. ZSS can kind of contain Hero at first, but once Hero gets the buffs, and he can just kind of steamroll ZSS, and he has the sword. So yeah. The only sword characters that actually do kind of good against don't do good against ZSS are Robin because he's too slow, Marth because he's too inconsistent, and Sword Fighter because he's way too slow. Banjo 60-40 just doesn't have hitboxes, a bit too slow. His projectiles aren't good enough. Terry, same deal as these guys. He's just slightly better at it. Violet 55-45 because he has sword, but other than that, just too slow. Min, that's even. Min can just cover all the space against ZSS, but ZSS will sometimes get the hit. And it'll just be even. Sephiroth, another even matchup. Sephiroth actually does a pretty good time of air-to-airing ZSS here. The fact that Sephiroth is so light, ZSS will get super early kills. Steve 55-45. I don't think this matchup is as bad as people say it is, to be honest. Like, side B does go through block, but block does eat there. And once Steve gets, and like, you can't just let Steve get diamond, because if he does get diamond, he's just gonna kind of out-damage, out-kill ZSS. But ZSS pressure tools are good enough to the point where she is gonna pressure Steve to not allow him to get diamond. Mr. Pyra, 45-55. She actually does a decent job of edgeguarding this character, but the thing is, Mr. just out-damages her and has hitboxes to keep up for her and has the speed to keep up with her. So Mr. against ZSS is really hard, but Pyra is a lot easier for ZSS to deal with. And then Kazuya, yeah, like Kazuya probably gets out neutral the hardest between all these, besides maybe Ken, but he gets the most reward off one hit. So. And then Sora, that's an even matchup. I mean, we don't have much data in the matchup, but all I can say is that Zachary beat both Shiki and Shoko, so with Sora. But yeah, Sora has sword, he has the speed. Yeah, he doesn't have the craziest of combos or kill confirms. Like it's not like any of these characters good, but still. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it. That was my this is my ZSS matchup chart. She kind of sucks. Not gonna lie, she's no longer top 15. If you think she's top 10, you're kind of dumb. Look at all these losing matchups. That's like how many losing matchups this is 17 losing matchups. And you could like arguably throw Ike down here and Sora, except for Office, and Sora down there too. Like she doesn't do that good in the meta anymore. Cause like look at this is why I don't think this is because look at all the characters I put in her winning. She doesn't beat a single top tier character like that hard. She just doesn't. She doesn't have the tools for it. She has slight wins on Steve and like Samus and Wario and Snake and Robin Peach, who are all like top tier. Who are like all like top tier characters. But like then she loses to Pyra, who's like top 10. Palu top 10. Fox like top 15, top 20. Pikachu top 10. Wolf top 10. Shulk, Pokemon Trainer top 10s. Roy, Crom, those guys top 10, top tier. Diddy Kong top tier, Olimar top tier, Joker top 10. Like she loses to a lot of top tier characters. Like the worst character she has a losing matchup against is either Peach or Cloud, or maybe Inkling or Ninja, depending on you like your sort your tier list. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys for checking out me. I'll see you in the next one.